Welcome to episode 153 of Explode Your Expert Biz Show, brought to you by GTeX.org.uk. I'm your host, Simone Vincenzi, the Expert Strategist, and this is the podcast for experts who want to become the ultimate authority in their niche while making an impact in the world. And today I have the pleasure to interview our GTeX Lifetime Member, Susanne Wiechert. And when you think of a life coach, you might immediately think of someone who does NLP, helping you to change behaviors, improve your mindset or health and wellness. But would you think of expressive arts coming into the equation? This is where Susanne Wiechert is different to other coaches. And in this episode, we talk about how to keep an open mind and be aware of what is that you don't know. How creative expression neurologically reaches part of the subconscious mind that Tolkien may not ever be able to. And also how to bring fun and relaxation into learning creates an emotional connection that lasts. You can read all the transcript of the interview and get bonus resources at www.gtex.org.uk/153. And also, you will be able to connect with Susanne. If you're inspired about the results that Susanne is having in her business and you want to become a GTeX member, there is a link where you can apply to book a call with our team and see how we can help you turn your expertise and become an authority in your field. If you haven't downloaded yet our 6-figure selling from the stage checklist, make sure you do it right now. Particularly if you want to create seminars and webinars that converts like crazy. Click the link in the show notes and you will be able to immediately get started. And if also you feel lonely and isolated, the more you reach the top of the mountain, the less people there are. If you want to connect with the like-minded experts, then join our Facebook group, which is Explode Your Expert Biz. Find it on Facebook, or the link is again here in the show notes, and you can get access to our private training, like the one that I did this week earlier was how to get featured on Forbes, and 2 people already got featured just following that free training. So join the group and I'll see you there inside. Without further ado, it's time for me to stop talking and crack on with the work. So enjoy the podcast. Ciao. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Explode Your Expert Biz Show. And today I'm here with our lifetime member, Susanne Wiechert. How are you doing, Susanne?
Hi, I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Simone.
Brilliant. I'm really happy. So we already discussed that today was a really good day. You went for
Yes.
a nice walk. It's sunny. It's beautiful day. Now, I know that you're doing something incredible. And this is before we talked about the topic of the day, which is about power, resilience as a business owner. How do you keep going? Because I don't know how you do what you do. I mean, we're gonna dive into that too. But I know you're doing something incredible, which is art, and you're an incredible artist. So before we dive into the content, I want to ask you, what inspired you to start painting? When did that start?
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, the painting that I do these days literally started just over 2 years ago. I mean, my level of art many years ago, very, very basic. I did it at school. That's it. I used to do little watercolors as gifts for people, but honestly, I didn't really go into it. Mm-hmm. The real reason behind the art was for self-healing. And it wasn't anything that I went into intentionally. It kind of happened of its own accord. So let's just say we discovered each other. So I had gone through a period of massive trauma. Within a 3-month period, 2.5 years ago, I went through 4 severely traumatic events. I was doing all of the sort of coaching things to help support myself. I knew that if I didn't do something to help myself, that I'd basically go back down. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to have burnout and all of those things. So I was doing lots of meditation. I was working on a coaching program for myself. I went to see a healing therapist. And amongst all of these things, I began to feel creative. But I wasn't sure in which way exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it started, I went through a clearing process. And that clearing process was me literally tidying up my office, because you know what it's like when you're in stress and you've got loads of things and your mind is crowded and you just can't think right. And it kind of like explodes all over the place. So my office and my house had become a real mess. And I thought, it's time to clear the decks. And in that process, I found a little picture that I used to have up on my wall, because I mentioned earlier, my walls are a little bit like my vision boards. I've got lots of pictures around with blue tack, which I won't be doing again. And this picture had fallen underneath my desk. And there I was crawling underneath and thinking, wow, that's where that went. And it was just a tiny little picture of two hands in prayer position. And literally, as I picked it up, it was almost like an electric shock going through my body. And as I picked it up, I just knew I had to do my own interpretation of these words that were let go, let God. So it was like it was a message. It was really time to let go and just be me and do what I wanted to do and get back into what I really love doing. Because I had at that time come out of a corporate job, and I was trying to figure out what was the best way of getting back to what I love.
Wow, such an inspiring story. And I think it makes us think, for everyone who is listening, and myself included, about the moments we are in life we have a sign. And there is this moment, something small or big can happen, and is a sign for us to do something different, or to behave in a different way, or to change something, or maybe just to follow a different path. And that felt like, when you found that picture, that was the sign for you.
Absolutely. Yes.
That acted as a catalyst for you to make that decision.
Yes, absolutely. And then it was from that point on that I just felt compelled, and it somehow it was connected also with the meditations that I was doing. I was getting really deep into meditation, and the connection between the music, and sometimes they were guided meditations, and then this urge to be creative was connecting me deeply on an emotional level, to clear, to start afresh, to approach things differently in my life.
So you have you're doing a lot of work as well for local authorities and councils, in particular looking at the health and well-being of the employees in this kind of in these organizations. So what did you find that that was the thing that people are struggling, whether they are in a corporate job or in a public organization? Where do you find that they are struggling?
Where they are struggling the most is with change. Change is occurring within organizations all of the time, especially with cutbacks. We know with our economy, whether it's actually local authority or private organizations, they are they've got budget restraints, they've got new demands, which means that people are having to change jobs, and also facing tension within departments. Roles are changing, and they don't really know how to cope. And those people, for instance, in the local authority, the main people I was working with was those in customer services, housing benefit, people who are facing the public and who are having to deal with the stresses of having to help these people. And some of them could be difficult customers, people who really don't know how, because they are so stressed themselves, they have really horrible situations. And so it's helping them to know how to deal with those stressful times in the moment, but also to be able to build the resilience, know what to do to build their resilience, to be able to cope with what they were faced with and what was coming up for them.
And how do you work with them to change these situations?
Very interestingly, it's a combination of practices. I think you already know, yes, I do have an NLP grounding, but I also have a nutrition and energy medicine grounding. And so I found a way to combine these different modalities, shall we call them, to work in a synergistic way, but also in a progressive way, so that we could start by doing coaching through association. I love telling stories. I think when you are in a working environment, people don't always feel comfortable to share personal details and difficulties
True.
and challenges they're having with. So when you have a story that they can identify with, give them a scenario that they can then work through their own emotional challenges, it's really helpful. And using that with some mindfulness and some NLP practices to have some processes that will then take them also into a place of being able to strategize in certain ways, but help them to release their emotional ties to things, because, learning to communicate better within the workplace, of course, is hugely important for
Yep.
business. And where are we usually the worst? With ourselves. Where is what is our self-talk like? So often you find people who are berating themselves because either they haven't met a target or they don't know how to deal with something, but it's because of what is inside them, and they don't have a very high self-esteem or confidence, that then translates into poor communication with others, because they don't know how to value themselves. They don't recognize their own self-worth. And the programs that I run combine certain processes that bring mindfulness, but also the creative expression into play. So we have a combination of that. We do meditation, we do NLP processes, and we have this storytelling, but I do it in such a way that it flows one into another, that by the end of the sessions, they feel relaxed, calm, they know how to cope with what's coming up in the afternoon or the next day, and that grows. So it is the accumulation that then gives them the long-term results.
So now I want to transition. Actually, before I transition we transition to talking about resilience and how important it is for a business owner, because you're a business owner yourself. You've worked with business owners as well, and that's something which is a core characteristic or a core quality. So we're going to look into that, into resilience and power in a minute. But I have a question for you, because every time, and I'm sure you're not expecting this question, but every time you have a conversation with some of our clients, when we meet during our courses, all the women come to you and say, how come your skin is so glowing? And so I want you to reveal your secret here on the show. I don't want this to be a secret anymore, Susanne. So then we can put it as a broadcast and say, here is their secret.
Oh, wow. I don't know whether it's a real secret, but I have to say, I do have some pretty good genes, and I'm very, very lucky in that sense. Both of my parents look very young for their age. And maybe it has something to do with being international, having cross blood. Who knows? I have this expression, I'm a hybrid. You've heard that before.
Where are you from again? Can you...
Well, my mother is German. And I was born in Düsseldorf, but I grew up here in England. But my father is from northern Cyprus, so he's actually a Turkish Cypriot. So you see, I have a real mixture of blood.
Good mixture in there.
Absolutely. But I have looked after my skin over the years. And many years ago, I used to use products from New Ways International. Sadly, they don't exist anymore. But I've always looked at the ingredients in things.
Okay.
I was always a campaigner for organizations like Friends of the Earth or Greenpeace, using products that were different. With what was special about them was what they didn't contain.
Yes.
So I know which ingredients to avoid.
Do you have any particular brand you would recommend for the lazy ladies that are listening to the show right now? Or maybe for the men that use skincare product as well. I'm stealing my
Well,
wife's one all the time.
are you? Are you?
Oh
Well,
yeah.
I have to say that at the moment I'm sort of in an interim place, but I am an absolute lover of virgin coconut oil, organic virgin coconut oil. I actually use that as my night cream. So it's beautiful. You can use it inside and outside. I use it for my hair, my scalp, my skin, I don't use it all of the time. During the day, I use a range called Dr. Organic that's
Hmm.
easily
Hmm.
available, and but I am looking for a line that is, let's just say, a little bit more sophisticated.
Yeah.
As I get
As
a
you
little
are.
older.
As you are. As you are.
Oh,
Now, talking about coconut oil, you see my curse. That's all coconut oil in there. All
yes.
coconut oil. Yeah, yeah. I'm very proud of my coconut oil for my curse. Okay, I'm thinking now the audience is say, okay, what is interview getting? Where are we going? Okay, can we talk about resilience now? Okay, we talk about
Yes.
resilience. So, talk about a bit more about your journey as an entrepreneur and how resilience help you out to overcome the challenges that you had to overcome.
Yes. Well, like most people, I've had many life challenges over the years. And resilience really is about being able to pick up and keep going. I think, if you have tenacity, that is really helpful. But it's about being able to recognize where you can grow again. Nature teaches us a lot of things. All you need to do is look outside. You can be going out on a walk like I did this morning. You'll see a flower coming up through, the pavement. How did it come through? Because it searched for the light. So there is something to think about. Search for the light within yourself, because we all have it. Sometimes we go through periods where we feel a little downtrodden, or more than that, we have
Hmm.
very difficult times where we feel, we're very much in the darkness. But know that the light is always there, and every single day is a new day and a new opportunity to start again. And look for examples. But it's about picking yourself up and trying again and trying again. And what doesn't work for a while, you look for a new approach. We all know that when you keep doing the same thing and the results never change, well, that's kind of, an indication of insanity, as they say. But it is knowing that it's time to look at new ways to approach things so that you can grow. Personal development is huge. I've done personal development for many, many years, always looking for new opportunities to grow myself, learn. There's this expression, what you don't know, you don't know.
Hmm.
And reach for the stars. What does that really mean? It really means just to keep going, to keep sight of your goal, because this is hugely important in business. You really must keep your focus on what it is that you want to achieve, but understand that the only way that you can do that is through knowing what your why is. Why do you want to do anything? You know, we can really build our resilience by getting in touch with our values and our reasons as to why we want to do things. And as we learn how to value ourselves more, our resilience increases as well, because we have more purpose. The more purpose we have in striving forward, the greater the strength becomes. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. Absolutely, it makes perfect sense. Can you give an example on how you had to use this resilience in one of the challenges that you have overcome?
Oh my goodness, yes. Um, I've got a few. I will say. I mean, let me see. What could I? what example could I give you first? Well, you may know already that one of my biggest challenges is working around family issues. So, as an independent business owner, I have to find a way to make my business still work. And we all have peaks and troughs. We all have, those times where things go down. And I suppose my biggest example is keeping going in making that business grow. So my life continues to be complicated on the family side of things. However, I pick myself up. I pick myself up because I know I've learned over time that I can start again. I can start afresh. And I have my clear vision ahead. So I have my vision boards, which I have developed. I have my reasons as to why I want to do this, because I'm that people person. I'm that person who wants to make a huge difference in people's lives. And I want them to understand that actually they can really achieve whatever they want. I'm one of these people who believes that absolutely anything is possible once you understand the magic of your mind. So self-talk is huge.
Yeah.
It's about really looking at who am I? What do I identify with? What is it that I want to achieve? Not just for myself, but what do I want to achieve for other people?
Yeah.
And it's about helping people get to that place as well. So that's I would say that is what strengthens me as time goes on. Picking myself up and trying again and never giving up.
And that's what we do as business owners. We keep going. And I think for everyone who is listening right now, that they can resonate with that message and just say, yes, things can be complicated in other areas of our life, but we are pushing through those challenges, and we are strong enough to also focus on the business and making it grow and making it expand and serve our clients and work with even more people. Then we are doing the right thing, and we are using this power, this inner resilience that we have, as we are talking about, because we all have inside us. That's what I believe in. And as you suggested, self-talk is one of the first steps that people can use to find this resilience. Is there anything else that you would recommend? So you mentioned self-talk.
Yes.
What else would you recommend for to build this strong resilience?
Absolutely. I have something that I call the vehicle of life, and it's all about keeping the balance. So if you look at the 4 different wheels in a car, and you can liken this, it's a simple analogy. Those 4 wheels each represent something. So I look at our food, our fuel for human consumption. Mm-hmm. So we do need to feed ourselves good food that provides energy and nutrition. We need to actually hydrate ourselves. And having said that, I really need a sip of water. So give me a moment here while I take a sip. Recognizing that we have this human body. We are spirit in human form, and our mind is an incredible machine, but we do need some basics in terms of being able to look after ourselves physically. Mm-hmm. The second wheel represents something called getting into gear. What do you do for yourself to have the focus for the day, to get going for the day? So this morning I was up early, went out, had a walk, got that exercise, not just exercise, but it also did something for my mind and my spirit. And the next wheel is all about service and maintenance. And what are the kinds of activities that we do to make sure that we keep going? So, you've got to do that with a car. You've got to have that oil change. What does that mean in human terms? Well, things like detoxes on a physical level, but you're detoxing the body, but you've got to detox the mind as well. So this is where things like self-talk come into play. And what do you do to cool down? Because we can't keep going. We've got to be able to step back So if you've got those four wheels in place and you know how to keep the balance, that makes a huge difference to building that resilience.
Beautifully said. I love the analogy of the four wheels. And yes, we have all these components in ourselves that they work, and we cannot even have one down.
That's
Because the
right.
moment we have one down, like a car, it will be very difficult to drive that car. If you have
Yes.
two down, it becomes even more difficult to drive the car, but you can very slow still go on. If you have three down, you're done.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. You don't drive the
Done.
car anymore, and
Yes.
that's where bigger problems start happening even more for yourself. So now I want to transition in our lifting the veil part of the interview, where I will ask you to share something that you do for your personal life or for your business that you use that everyone must know. Everyone needs to know about this. Go, Suzanne.
Okay. All right. Well, I honestly, truly believe in my heart that we cannot grow anything in terms of abundance in life without gratitude. Gratitude plays a huge role in my personal life, but also in my business. When we focus that we already come from a place of abundance, it's huge. What that does is it gives us, again, an emotional connection. So every day I start my day going through a gratitude meditation, applying gratitude in a way where I have that emotional connection, where I know I can feel good about something. Because it's about getting in touch with those feelings that then brings more of that into your life. When you are already coming from a place of appreciation, you invite more of that into your life. When you are in a place of complaining about what's not right, remember that what you focus on becomes your reality. So it doesn't matter how small it is, it's about getting in touch into the vibration and the energy of gratefulness, appreciation, thankfulness, and inviting that in each and every day. And when you get into the habit of doing that, it really makes a huge difference. Watch what happens with your life and your business. Watch how your business can grow. And whatever you're doing at work, if somebody is in the workplace, watch at how their relationships, their business relationships, can improve through their own attitude of gratitude and how they approach things. It's that perspective, how we perceive things. So that is something that I would advocate to anybody, the awakening of your life and business through gratitude.
And do you have any process that you use yourself to help you connect with this gratitude?
Yes, I do. I mentioned meditation. So I have a selection of meditations that I listen to depending on what theme I'm looking at. I do have a little journal that I write in each day. So it's not about just list writing, though. It's about literally writing down your feelings. So sometimes I'll even write a little poem. I'll wake up in the morning and I think, what has come to my mind this morning that I'm feeling particularly grateful for? And I'll write down a sentence, a paragraph. Sometimes I list things, and it just puts me into that vibration. So this morning when I went out on my walk, there was such an abundance of birds in the area that I was in the woods. It was exhilarating. And I really allowed that song to seep into me, and that appreciation has lasted throughout the day, and I just feel awesome. That's the only way that I can describe it. I feel like skipping down the road, dancing, whatever, flying with the birds. It sounds silly, but it really does work when you get into that feeling. So yeah, I recommend it for everyone. It is something that I advocate, and it's something that I teach as well.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing, Suzanne. A couple of more questions. And you are one of our lifetime members. And what made you join our lifetime membership and GTeX?
Oh, wow, lots of good reasons there. Well, I would say, first of all, community. You really feel like you are part of a very caring community that helps you to bring strategies into your business, helps you to actually gain the focus that you want to make your business grow or explode, as you say. The people connection and helping you to see things from a business perspective that you might not have before, because we get stretched. I love the fact that in the workshops that we have, you get us to do things right away. It's not like going to a seminar and just writing notes. There is life, there is activity, there is fun, there's strategy, and it's an opening of the mind. So, and I love the people. You guys are absolutely great. I just love being with you. There is a super energy with GTeX.
Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. And listeners, if for those of you that want to apply to become a GTeX member, you want us to help you to explode your expert business like we are doing with all our lifetime members and other clients, then there is a link in the show notes. Click the link so then you can apply with a call for a call with our business coach. We'll have a chat and see if you are a right fit for the lifetime membership. Susanne, now it's time to wrap up this interview. How can people reach out to you, connect with you? Do you have something that you would like to give? All yours.
Oh, wow. Well, I mentioned things like meditation. So I do produce meditations, and I would love to be able to gift a meditation, one of my recordings, to whoever would like to have one, whether it is specifically for gratitude or just a breathing and relaxation meditation. And you can get in touch with me through email. So that would be SW, so for Susanne Wiechert, at energizeme.co.uk. And the energize is with a Z, not an S. Mm-hmm. So SW at energizeme.co.uk.
Brilliant. And there is going to be the email, Susanne email, and also the links to Susanne's social media here in the comments. So make sure you scroll down, connect with Susanne, because if you want to build this resilience in your life, this grit, and doing it in a very peaceful and gentle way. I don't know how you do it. You're incredible. Because most of the time resilience is a very masculine concept, but and grit is a very masculine concept compared to this elegance and gentleness that is all about you, but you're able to combine them beautifully. So guys, make sure that you connect with Susanne, engage with her content, and get in touch for those meditations because they are amazing. Susanne, thank you very much for being on our show. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much, Simone. It's been a real pleasure speaking with you here. Thank you.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview. Well, I'm assuming you've been listening up until now. You definitely did. One more thing to do. Subscribe to our podcast so then you don't miss any other episode with our guests, our lifetime members, the solo episodes that I'm doing. To help you grow and explode your business. And also, I would really appreciate if you can leave us a 5-star review. Let us know what did you enjoy the most from this interview with Susanne. I'm sure Susanne will really appreciate it, so do it for her, don't do it for me. And leave this 5-star review right now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
And I'll see you next time.